freckles.
I don't have freckles.
Yes, you do. I've seen them. I've seen freckles you don't even know you have.
This is my idea of a lunch hour. You and the ocean.
Sure beats brown bagging it.
The weather report said it was going to rain. You have started?
Why don't you open your eyes and find out?
I'm trying to postpone that. I feel like I'm wrapped in a warm cocoon. I don't want to come out.
You can come back tonight and crawl in again if you want.
Harsh reality.
Well, it's not so bad, is it? Baby, you were going to tell me something that's been worrying you.
Well, I don't want you to huff and puff and get all impatient with me, but it's Marcello.
What now?
I just think that he and my father must have met sometime during World War II. By chance or something, I don't know.
Because he had your father's dog tags?
Yeah. And I don't think it's a coincidence like Marcello said. You know, that he came to Santa Barbara 16 years ago when my mother swam ashore from Lionel's boat.
Why do you think he was here?
To meet my father or to transact some business of some kind with him or maybe even to harm him. I don't know.
You know, you'd make a lousy detective, Eden.
Why?
Because you're always jumping to conclusions. You need a parachute to make a quantum leap like that. I think you're a much, much better lover than you are a detective.
Well, I trust my instincts. I don't like to wait to dot every I.
Well, why not? You got nothing to lose. But if you had to prove this kind of thing, like in a court of law, for instance, I mean, then, you know, then your instincts wouldn't be doing you much good.
Well, I intend to prove it. I do. In fact, I was thinking about putting Marcello and my father in the same room, getting it all out in the open. Because as sure as I'm lying here, I know he's up to no good.
That wouldn't be smart, and that could be really dangerous to put them together like that. You don't know what would happen.
I'm not afraid.
I know you're not afraid. That's the trouble with you. Nothing scares you. Tell me something. Did you give those dog tags
Dog
back?
tags?
Dog tags?
Thank you.
Those you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The ones you swiped from Marcello? Did you put them back in the suitcase like I told you?
Not exactly. I did give them back to him, and I didn't steal them.
Well, did you give them back to him before he discovered they were missing?
Not exactly.
Don't keep saying not exactly, Eden. Tell me exactly.
Well, I gave them back to them. He got them, and you were right, all right? I should have gone back to his room and put them back, but I didn't. So he caught me with them on me.
Great. Then what happened?
Nothing. I gave them back. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, see what I mean? You see, every time you come out of something alive, you think you got away with it. You better stop that. Do me a favor, will you?
What?
Leave the detective work to me.
What am I supposed to do?
You just lie here and be beautiful and be available.
You sound so sexy.
Yeah, but then you'd be safe, and what good is being equal if you're dead?
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm going to tell you anything. Stop it. I'm not going to tell you anything anymore.
No, don't start keeping secrets from me. We got to turn over a new leaf. No more secrets. Actually, I got a little secret I've been keeping from you. I've been holding something back.
Well, that sounds like an interesting admission. What is it?
I've been kind of dreading telling you this because I know it's going to upset you, but I think the time has come.
A few more hours and we'll be home.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding flight 206 to Atlanta, Denver, and Santa Barbara. Those passengers needing assistance and those with small children will be boarding first at gate 3. Will Atlanta passenger Chris Stevenson please pick up a white courtesy phone? Atlanta passenger Chris Stevenson.
going home. I really am.
I know.
And thanks to you, I'm not very scared anymore.
Kelly, I'd like to be able to go on helping you, if you want me to.
I'd like the day to come when I no longer need outside help. When I can manage on my own, you know?
It will. Not too long from now, either.
Hello, Marissa. Is Amy there?
Hi, Frick. No, she didn't come home for lunch today. So you still in San Francisco?
Yes.
Well, you okay?
Yeah, fine. I just have a couple errands to run for the Lockridges, and I'll just grab the next plane back to Santa Barbara. I'll be home tonight.
Aren't you the jet setter, though?
You have to travel more than 300 miles to qualify for that.
Is that how it works? I'd like to have the chance to find out for myself someday. Anyway, can I give Amy a message?
No, I just wanted to call to say hi. I thought she was coming home for lunch.
Well, she probably forgot she had the appointment to see Dr. Renfro.
No problem, is there?
No, Brick. No, everything's fine. It's just a checkup. So, look, I'll tell her you called.
Yeah, okay. See you tonight.
Brick? Are you sure you're okay?
Fine.
Okay. Well, have a safe flight home. I'll see you tonight.
So long.
Excuse me. Yeah. Are you a friend of Jeff's?
Yeah.
Oh, I live up the hall. I'm kind of worried about him.
What do you mean?
I saw him sneaking out the fire escape the other night.
Fire escape?
Isn't that weird? I mean, it looked like he was scared of something, or as if maybe he were being watched and didn't want anybody to see him leave. I think he's in trouble.
Well, tell me. Come out with it.
I wish there was some real gentle way of saying this, but I don't know it. Peter Flint did not kill your brother.
Yes, he did. He confessed to it.
No, the confession was a phony. Somebody else added those lines to it where he said he was responsible for Channing's murder. It was definitely typed by two different people, the note.
What? I don't believe it.
I knew it was going to upset you, baby.
You mean to tell me that there's a killer running around out there that killed my brother?
That's what I mean to tell you. Not only is he running around out there, but he's probably doubly dangerous now.
Why?
Because he knows I reopened the case.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you doing?
I'm working on a little something. I got a plan.
What plan?
Don't ask me, Eden. I can't tell you the details.
I won't, but is it dangerous? Is anyone likely to get hurt? Most of all, are you likely to get hurt?
You just agreed not to ask me any questions.
I'm not asking questions. I'm just expressing concern.
Well, please don't worry about me.
You're planning on getting involved, aren't you? I'm begging you, please don't. Channing is gone. There's nothing you can do to change that.
Yeah, but, baby, whoever killed him is not gone. And there is something I can do to change that.
Hey,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I didn't say anything. You just have this awful scowl on your face. What's wrong?
Was I scowling? I didn't realize it.
What were you thinking, Martello?
Just that I'd like to win your father's trust and friendship so that I could start treating you openly. That's a concern, certainly no reason to scowl.
Don't even think twice about it. I'm going to tell Dad how wonderful you've been to me and for me. I'll make him accept you.
I'm afraid it isn't just your father, Kelly. Eden and Mason seem to dislike me as well. They'll do anything they can to malign me.
No, they won't, because I won't let them. I like you, Martello, and I want you to treat me. That's all that matters, right? So they'll have to accept it. You have done wonders for me. You really think I'm going to let you get away now?
But in spite of that, and because I am not unmindful of what Mrs. Gillis and her husband have suffered, I'm willing to settle this case out of court. It'll save us all a lot of time and money and aggravation. But mind you, that is not admitting culpability, because there is none to admit. But $40,000 is my first and only offer. I'm not going to bargain or negotiate. That's it. Take it or leave it.
I'd like to confer with my client for a minute.
All right, Mason, don't take too long. We've been at this for 2 hours, and I have other business waiting.
It won't take long.
Is that really all he's going to offer us?
Knowing Dad, it may be.
And what would your share of that be?
16,000.
You sure figured that out fast.
I've always had a knack for figures.
Well, you started out asking 20 million.
Stay out of this, Lindsay. I know what I'm doing.
Mason, did you cut that short? I have a few more things I'd like to say.
We're not quite finished, Dad.
Just hear me out, and we'll give you plenty of time to decide. Now, I've tried not to bring my personal feelings into this, but I think I have a right to express them. Frankly, Mason, I'm a little disgusted with you. For what you've done, you've taken on a case of a woman whose negligence and inability to perform her duties have resulted in the death of Kelly's husband. Now, I know you don't care how much unhappiness you cause me, but how could you do this to Kelly?
If you'll let me explain, Mr. Capwell.
Please, Mrs. Gillis, I haven't finished. Now, Mason, if this woman has any compassion at all for the terrible suffering that our family has gone through, because she's unable as a policewoman to shoot a man who killed Joe Perkins and 4 other women, she would have dropped this entire issue right away. Now, I appreciate that she has suffered a terrible tragedy in her own family, but I would think the natural feeling of remorse over Joe's death would have kept her from coming after us. Indeed, maybe it's we who should be suing her right now.
Dad, let's not carry this to extreme.
The point is that I am making a very generous offer under the circumstances, and I think that your client should accept it and then get out of our lives.
I agree with Mr. Capwell. It is a most generous offer.
Because, Mrs. Gillis, if you refuse to settle, I will have to come to the conclusion that your moral indifference, coupled with your greed, make you unfit to continue on the Santa Barbara police force. Now, I think my son can tell you from his own experience what I can do to people who fail at their jobs.
I don't think threats are necessary, Dad. This started out as a compromise offer. Now it's turned into something menacing.
Oh, I'm not menacing anyone. It's just a simple statement of fact, not threats. But I think you would advise your client to give them serious consideration.
Lionel, are you crazy? We're looking for people that will be with the company for 30 years. You're over the hill, Lionel.
Your reputation,
Sorry.
Mr. Lockridge. Rogue, Don Juan. No secretary would last a week around you. No, we're looking for
You're too rich to hire. You'd be taking the work out of the mouths of people who need the work. We don't need you, sorry.
My dear sir, you are simply too honest. You would tell the buyers what was wrong with every house you were showing them. Candor, yes, but not honesty. Terribly sorry. Sorry.
They'll all be sorry. I'm going to find a job and prove myself. You all had a chance to get me, and you didn't. Too bad. And it'll be too bad when Augusta and Mother come begging me for forgiveness. That'll be the day.
Well, Mrs. Gillis, what do you say?
First of all, I want to say that I know I was at fault in your son-in-law's death. I froze in a moment of crisis and it was inexcusable. But I'm taking additional training to make sure that never happens again.
Oh, I'm sure that will bring great comfort to my daughter in her grief.
I'm as sorry as anyone can be, Mr. Capwell, but I cannot change the past. And I don't think it makes what Capwell Enterprises did any less bad. Your men knowingly looked the other way when a loyal employee of theirs was hurt. And then they tried to cover up the reason he was hurt, which means putting other men in jeopardy in the same way. No, I will not take your settlement. I'll fight you as long and hard as I have to, and I think someday I'm going to win.
Can you afford that kind of endless litigation? We have fought these cases before, Mrs. Gillis. Even Mason there is going to have some money from you eventually, not to mention his associate. Oh, even the paperwork to file for responses and petitions can become extremely costly. Now, can you withstand that?
Mr. Capwell, my husband is completely paralyzed. We don't know if he even knows if he's alive. It would have been a lot better if he just died in that accident. He can't fight back now, but I can, and I'm going to. No matter how long it takes, no matter how much it costs, I'll manage somehow. No, Mr. Capwell, I will not take your blood money. Mason, I'll wait for you outside.
Hey, so what happened? Hey, come on, tell me.
He offered us $40,000 in a full settlement.
$40,000?
It was like spitting on Ben. What's worse, I think Mason wanted me to take it.
Maybe I don't say it.
Thank you, Jerry. I'd like a copy of that as soon as you can.
Yes, I'll try to have it for you first thing tomorrow morning, Mr. Capwell.
Thanks.
I thought you were representing our interest, not the interest of your father.
As far as a settlement goes, Maggie, that may be the best you're going to be able to do.
You still don't understand, do you? I meant what I said in there. I'm going to take this case all the way. I thought you knew that when you agreed to take it. Mason, you've never met my husband. He was a wonderful man. He gave me so much love and joy. And he was a fighter. He believed in the underdog and trying to make this world a better place, and I'm not going to give up on him now when he needs me.
Maggie, I was acting in your behalf. I think Lindsay will bear me out. Settlement would save you a lot of time and heartache at this point.
This is your case, Mason. You dragged me into assisting you, but don't drag me into a legal opinion. Look, I think it stinks, Mason. This is what I was afraid would happen to begin with. Daddy applies a little pressure and you crumble. Maggie, is Ben going to be home today?
Yeah, he will be. They're going to bring him home at 3. Why?
Because I think it's about time we introduce Mason to the man he's supposed to be representing, and he just tried to sell down the river.
I don't have to meet him, Warren. I know what his condition is.
If you have any guts at all, you'll be there. I want you to meet me at Maggie's apartment in an hour. I'll be waiting for you. Let's go, Maggie.
Thought I might be doing her a favor.
Oh, did you? Well, don't go doing anything for me, because I think you sold him down the river, too.
I'll be damned. I may be the most misunderstood man in America. Certainly the most maligned.
He had Cece's dog tags. It scared me. But a lot of things about him have scared me. I haven't trusted him since the beginning. I know that you think the world of him, but I just don't know what it's based on.
Oh, even because he's been very kind to me and he's saved my life and my sanity, I wouldn't even be here now if it weren't for him.
I think he's been using you all along.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know why, but...
Please even know.
Would you do me a favor?
I can.
Would you come to the house tonight? I want to put Daddy and Marcello in the same room. I want Marcello to tell us why he's been in all of our lives. It may get ugly, but I think it's important that you be there.
May I sit down?
Must you?
Yes, there's something I'd like to say.
Well, I hope it's light and amusing.
Not a chance.
I didn't think so.
I think that we have to review the situation, decide what's best.
What situation is that?
The whole situation. You see C getting remarried, Augusta and I breaking up, your children finding out who you are, your knowing you can never get your family back together again. In short, I think, Sophia, you've done enough damage to your enemies, real and imagined. What I'm asking is for you to go away, back to Europe, and give Augusta and me a chance to get back together.
It must be just wonderful to have someone to blame all your problems on, huh? Well, I'm not going to take that responsibility. And as far as you and Augusta are concerned, if you had not been unfaithful to her, you'd be with her right now.
Well, that's interesting. Because I never stopped loving her, even when you and I were in love.
Lionel, we are both paying the same price. We are both alone and out in the cold for the same reasons. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here and fight for the love of my children and fight for Cece's respect. And I think I have a very good chance to earn it. And as far as you and Augusta are concerned, you do whatever you want because it has nothing to do with me.
That's ironic in a way. She treats me with the same contempt that you do.
Lionel. Yes. But at least the hatred is gone. If this is any consolation to you, and I'm sure it will be, I no longer think that you tried to kill me that day on the boat, thinking that was a mistake. It was a mistake that ruined my life and caused terrible pain for my children, for my family. But it had nothing to do with you.
You mean that?
Yes, I do.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be exonerated after all these years.
I know. I know that you've suffered too because of this. I punished you for a sin that you didn't commit. I really don't. I don't know how to atone for that. I'm saying I'm sorry. I know that's meaningless, but I am. I'm very, very sorry. The thing is, Lionel, that we were with, both of us, the right people, but we just didn't appreciate it. We were blind. Well, I'm going to make a fresh start. And maybe one day we can both come back to... I don't know, come back to what?
Salvation?
Salvation. Forgiveness. And the right to the happiness we both want.
Well, let's just hope we're not starting too late.
Marcello, I've got mine.
No, this is mine suitcase.
No, it is not. This is mine. Look, I have a tag. It says Kelly Perkins on it. Well, it's not here. Where is it?
Of course it isn't. That's my bag, I tell you. Now, please, give it to me.
Sorry, I have a bag just like this. It's identical to it.
You should find some way of identifying your belongings so that you don't go around taking other people's things.
Well, I do. I have a tag on my bag, and it's just like this.
Then I suggest you wait for a bag like this with a tag.
There's no need to be rude, madam.
Don't tell me how to behave. Now, please, just get out of my way. I'm late as it is.
People do make big deals over nothing, don't they? I wasn't trying to steal her stupid bag.
The world is full of ill-mannered people, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and violent ones. I thought she was going to hit me there for a minute. Oh, Marcello, where is my suitcase?
Sweetheart.
Well, it's been gone a year instead of just 2 weeks.
Well, we'll get you used to it again very quickly. Dr. Armonti?
Mr. Capwell?
Oh, sweetheart, it's nice to have you home. I've missed you.
Missed you.
How were all the relatives back east?
They're all right. They all say hi to you.
Good.
Listen, Dad, can Marcello, I asked him to come because I wanted you to know how much he's helped me. And he could answer a few of your questions.
Oh, no questions. Just a lot of praise. You look so much stronger and happier than before you left. Bermuda must have agreed with you.
It sure did. Listen, can he stay and have dinner with us tonight? And you could get to know him a little better?
Well, darling, I thought that we would just keep it a family gathering, you know, your first night home.
That's perfectly all right. I understand completely. But I was hoping to be able to persuade you to lift your ban on my treating Kelly. I think there's more that I can do for her.
Kelly. Hi.
I'm glad you got home safe.
Thanks. You are going to have dinner with us, yeah?
You bet.
I was trying to get Daddy to invite Marcello, but he says no.
Kelly, you're making this very awkward.
Well, Daddy, I think it's a good idea. I'd like Marcello to stay. I think you two should get to know each other. I think you have more in common than you realize.
Well, if you're both going to gang up on me, Doctor, would you join us for dinner this evening?
Yes, I'd be delighted.
I thought you would.
Kelly?
Shall I take your bag upstairs and unpack, dear?
Oh, yes, thank you, Rosa.
If you'll excuse me, I have a few more things to finish up before dinner.
May I use your phone to call my service?
Of course. Come this way.
Thank you.
Eden, do you really want Marcello to stay for dinner?
Of course I do. I think you're going to find out he isn't the well-meaning and altruistic man that you think he is, though.
Well, I'm warning you. If you do anything to hurt or embarrass him, I'll never forgive you. And I mean that.
I saw Amy Perkins.
What did she say?
She mentioned that Brick Wallace had gone to San Francisco. I thought you ought to know about it as soon as possible.
We already know about it, and we've taken care of it. There's nothing to worry about.
We played racquetball together a couple of times. Other than that, I don't really know him that well.
See.
You mind me asking why you're asking all these questions?
No, I just came out from Santa Barbara. See him, I'm hoping we get together, you know. I run into this. I don't exactly know where to start looking for him.
I wish I could help you. But I'm afraid I can't.
Okay. Thanks.
You gonna stick around?
Yeah, for a minute I thought I'd just check around, see if there's any clues that might tell me where he went.
Place looks as clean as a whistle to me. Good luck.
Thanks.
Is that you, Mr. Wallace?
Who's this?
Never mind. I have a message for you.
How did you know I was here?
You are to go to the corner of Howard and Natchez Street. In the alley behind the garage, you will find 3 trash cans. You are to look through the center can.
Speak. Like the Delphic oracle, I answer all questions.
What are you going to do next?
Next, I'm going to sit here and watch you finish.
No, I mean about me.
Well, that depends on how well you cooperate, Lindsay.
I can't believe that you deliberately destroy another man's life by dragging out some old dirt and smearing him with it.
I know, it's difficult to conceive of, isn't it? Now, I'd like to ask you something. I'd like to know exactly what you saw in Channing. The fact that he was my brother doesn't alter the fact that he was a dreadful human being.
Not with me, he wasn't.
Well, how was he with you? I'd love to know.
Channing was unhappy, lonely, very insecure with himself, in spite of how handsome he was.
Channing insecure? Well, the mind boggles.
Well, he was an entirely different person once you got him away from that damn house and that father of his. You know, I was sitting across from Cece today, remembering everything that Channing had told me about him. You know, it's a wonder that any of you even came out halfway normal.
Well, you know, I'm not at all sure that we did. You didn't find him deceitful and manipulative? Channing, I mean.
Channing just wanted to be loved.
And you obliged him?
Channing was everything that I lacked. Yeah, he had poise, assurance, stunning good looks. Not to mention the money and the rest of it. I guess I wanted to be Channing.
Hmm. Well, I imagine there are people who want to be Hitler, too.
There's no point in talking to you about it. You couldn't understand.
Well, you're right about that. Channing's charm escaped me entirely.
That's it.
Well, now, that didn't take long at all, did it?
No, it's actually pretty simple. I think even you can handle it, Mason. You turn the camera on here, and the focus is here.
Ah, well, thanks. I think I can manage from here on out.
I paid a week's rental on it already.
Oh, well, that's most generous of you, Lindsay.
So if you want it for any longer, I'm going to have to let them know.
No, I don't think that'll be necessary.
Oh, is that it? Can I go now?
Yeah, I'll be in touch.
I was sure you would. Oh, what about the Gillis case? Are we finished with that? Can I get back to practicing some real law now?
I haven't decided yet, Lindsay. Right now I have other fish to fillet. I'll let you know. Thanks a lot.
Have fun.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Dad. I can imagine how surprised you are to see me on this tape in your bedroom, but there's a good reason for it. I guess you know me well enough by now to know that there's a good reason for just about everything I do. In a few seconds, I'm going to show you a series of photographs that I think you'll find very interesting. They feature Channing, Jr., and a friend, and I think they'll give you a whole new perspective on some of your late son's latent qualities. I only wish I dare be there to see the expression on your face.
He probably would have taken $10,000 if that's all that Susie had offered.
Well, what I don't know is why
we picked Mason. Maggie wanted him, and he was the only person we could find to take it on.
Well, Warren, I don't think I can give you any advice on that.
Well, I guess we'll just have to start looking for somebody else, huh?
Listen, I wanted to tell you, you know how you were talking to Sophia about the fact that I didn't try to kill her?
Yeah.
Well, I think you convinced her.
Well, you mean she doesn't believe you were?
That's right.
Well, hey, Dad, that's terrific. That's great.
I think so, too, and I just wanted to thank you for your part.
Yeah, well, come on, forget it. Look, I gotta get back to the paper. I'll find out about that storm that never came in.
Well, at least this way you won't get wet.
I guess not. Something like that.
Yes, I'd like to speak to Mr. Zimmerman, if I may. Thank you.
Hello?
Oh, Mr. Zimmerman, this is Lionel Lockridge. You asked me to call you back about 6 o'clock?
Oh, yes, indeed. We've considered your application, and I'm happy to tell you that we are going to give you a try. You can start training tomorrow morning at 9.
Welcome to Zimmerman's. Well, really? Well, that's very good news. I have always wanted to work in a department store. What section will I be working in, or have you decided that?
Oh, we're starting you out in bedding and mattresses. You'll be a salesman. Salary plus a small commission.
Well, that's wonderful. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. The opportunity, Mr. Zimmerman, and you won't regret it either. I've had a lot of experience in mattresses and bedding. I'll do a good job for you, Mr. Zimmerman. I'll see you in the morning. See, Manx? I told you I could do it.
Rosa, could you come here for a minute, please?
Coming. Coming.
Bag and it's not in the suitcase. Rolo. Fun, fun, fun. I can hardly wait to tell them they put the package in the wrong suitcase. It must be in that girl's bag. It was identical. Did she say her name was? Parker. No. Perkins. Kelly Perkins. That's it. Okay. I've got to find her and get it back. Like right now.
Honey, I didn't want Marcello here.
I know.
Well, then would you please tell me why? I didn't think you were such a fan of his either.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. You just have to be patient and find out. There. Oh, now I feel like a new person.
You look wonderful, baby.
It's amazing what a little Bermuda sun can do for you.
Oh, my. Who's that now? I hope it's not another uninvited guest for dinner.
I'm afraid it is. Unexpected for you, that is.
Hello. Sophia. Yes, I know, Rosa. I'm surprised as you are. They're all in the atrium, dear.
Thank you so much.
Sophia?
Yes, I invited her, Daddy. She doesn't know anything that's happening. No one does except me.
Hello, everybody. Hi, my angel. Welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to dinner.
Well, you have Eden to thank for that. It came as a complete surprise to me.
Well, now all we need is Marcello. I'll get him.
I'm sorry, I had several calls to return. Hello, Sophia. What a surprise.
Apparently, this whole evening is designed to be a surprise to everyone.
Designed by whom?
Eden.
Eden. What is going on?
Well, now that we're all here, I think it's time we have some fun and games. In fact, I have everything lined up this evening.
I'll find somebody else to handle it.
You've gone through hell on this, haven't you?
Yeah, this isn't really, I shouldn't be discussing my problems anyway, so, why don't we go over the plans for tonight?
Okay, Gillis. I'll tell you, I think you and I have a pretty decent chance of catching ourselves a killer. And tonight we're going to bait the trap. But I got to tell you one more time, if you have any doubts about this at all, please say so. I will not hold it against you.
Don't worry. I want to be in on it, every step of the way.
Okay, Gillis, I'm glad, because I can use you.
Hello, Dad. I can imagine how surprised you are to see me on this tape in your living room, but there's a good reason for it. You know me well enough to know that there's a good reason for almost everything I do.
That's not bad. I'm really rather photogenic.
In a few seconds, I'm going to show you a series of photographs that I think you'll find very interesting. They feature Channing Jr. and a friend of his, and I believe they'll give you a whole new perspective on some of your late son's more latent qualities. I only wish I dare be there to see the expression on your face.
Well, I rather like my folksy style. Now, the question is, when would be the most effective time to interrupt Dad's television viewing? During the evening news, maybe? Or maybe during the late morning financial update. He never misses that. Whichever one it is, it'll be a day he remembers for the rest of his life. That is, if it doesn't kill him.
Settled and calm and civilized, I wanted to ask Daddy a few questions about the war.
Eden, for heaven's sakes, that's hardly sociable conversation.
Your plane was shot down, wasn't it, Daddy? In a small town near Rotterdam called Capelle, wasn't it right?
Sweetheart, I don't think I really want to discuss this in front of strangers.
Actually, you never do want to talk about it. But tonight you will. Tonight you must.
Why must I?
Because everything that happened there directly affected everyone that's in this room.
I don't understand.
Please just tell the story, Daddy. Please? Come on, Dad. I'd like to know. Please, Cece.
Well, we were shot down by the Germans. I was the only one in our plane to escape capture. For several weeks, I was hidden by a Dutch family in the basement of their farm.
Just you?
Yes. And then later on, I attempted to escape by going from one resistance shelter to another, till I finally got back to the American lines.
I think Mr. Capel is right. This is not something to be talked about in front of strangers. I do have to be going now, so
I'm sorry you can't leave.
Eden, what are you driving at? What is this all about?
Well, I'll tell you. You see, Marcello really isn't Italian. He's from Holland. From a small town near Rotterdam called Capelle. The same place your plane landed, Daddy?
What?
Marcello was 4 or 5 years old then, but his name really wasn't Marcello. It was Hans.
Hans. That's right, Lieutenant. Hans.